For decades, the name Reggie Smith has been more than just a name in gospel music. It's been a symbol of faith, hope, and devotion. His voice, powerful yet filled with warmth, has the kind of sound that could lift broken hearts and remind people of God's grace. Reggie's music didn't just fill churches on Sunday mornings, it reached beyond those walls. His songs echoed in homes, concert halls, and through the hearts of people who found comfort in his words. Each lyric carried a message of strength and unshakable belief. Yet, behind that powerful voice and bright smile, there was a side of Reggie's life that very few people really knew. Fans often wondered about the woman who quietly stood beside him. She was rarely seen, never loud, always calm, and seemed to prefer the background while her husband stood in the spotlight. Over the years, her absence from the public eye raised questions. Who was the woman who shared life with one of gospel music's most respected voices? Why did she remain silent while Reggie's songs touched millions? The answer, as it turned out, had nothing to do with secrets or fame. It was a story about love, sacrifice, and faith that endured through life's hardest storms. Reggie Smith's journey has always been guided by faith. But what many fans never realized was that his greatest strength came not only from his belief in God, but from his wife, who stood by him through everything. Many of Reggie's most powerful songs were born from his own personal trials, moments of deep pain, and lessons learned through love. He once said, "The greatest song I'll ever sing is the life we've built together." Those words summed up everything. Behind his inspiring lyrics were two people walking through the valleys of illness and fear, yet holding on to faith tighter than ever. Reggie's wife had faced serious health challenges that tested their love in ways few could imagine. While the world saw him performing on stage with unshakable confidence, only those closest to him knew how heavy his heart sometimes was. But the couple chose privacy, not because they were hiding, but because they wanted peace. Their silence was a shield that protected something sacred. While others might have turned their struggles into publicity, Reggie and his wife chose to keep their love story away from the noise. They quietly lived out their vows, in sickness and in health, in joy and in pain, showing that love doesn't need an audience to be real. Long before fame, Reggie Smith's story began in a small southern town, where faith wasn't just a Sunday word, it was a way of life. Church was the heart of the community, and the choir was its soul. Even as a child, Reggie's voice stood out among others. There was something special about the way he sang. His voice carried emotion, passion, and sincerity. By his teenage years, he was already leading worship services, filling small churches with songs that felt like prayers. His gift didn't go unnoticed. Gospel producers soon recognized that this young man's voice could touch the world. When Reggie recorded his first album in his early 20s, his career took off almost overnight. His songs combined traditional gospel harmonies with heartfelt storytelling, making people not just hear his words, but feel them deeply. Despite his growing fame, Reggie stayed humble, often giving credit to his wife for keeping him grounded. While the spotlight shined brightly on him, she remained quietly supportive, never seeking attention. In an age when celebrities share every moment online, Reggie's decision to protect his private life made him stand out. To him, success wasn't about followers, it was about faith, family, and staying true to God's purpose. As Reggie's fame grew, fans couldn't help but notice something unusual: his wife was rarely seen in public. When she did appear, it was only for brief moments, and she often avoided the spotlight. Some people thought she was simply shy, while others wondered if there was something deeper. During concerts, Reggie would sometimes dedicate emotional songs to "the bravest person I've ever known." Listeners were touched, but also curious. Who was this person he spoke of with such devotion? His lyrics began to include hints of unseen battles and quiet faith, leading fans to suspect that something personal was happening behind the scenes. Then, in the middle of his most successful tour, Reggie suddenly canceled several concerts. The official reason given was personal matters, and fans were left worried. Weeks later, Reggie returned, but this time, instead of a huge concert, he performed at a small church. The atmosphere was intimate and deeply emotional. With tears in his eyes, Reggie sang a new song dedicated to his wife. His voice trembled with sincerity as he said, "This song is for the bravest person I've ever known." That night, the audience saw more than just a performer. They saw a husband expressing love, pain, and gratitude all at once. Not long after that emotional performance, Reggie Smith opened up in a rare and heartfelt interview. For years, he had kept his private life away from the public eye, but this time, he felt it was right to share the truth. He revealed that his wife had been battling a long-term medical condition, one that required constant care and strength. From the beginning, they both agreed to keep her illness private. "She never wanted the spotlight," Reggie said softly. "She wanted the music to speak, not her struggles, and I respected that." Those words revealed the depth of his love and admiration for her. She had faced unimaginable challenges with grace and faith, and Reggie had been her pillar through it all. This revelation changed how fans saw him. Every song about perseverance, faith, and gratitude suddenly carried new meaning. Listeners realized that his music wasn't just inspirational, it was deeply personal. Each lyric told a story of two people who faced life's storms together and came out stronger. Fans around the world began to send prayers and messages of support, sharing their own experiences of faith and healing. For many, Reggie and his wife's journey became a symbol of unbreakable love. After years of silence, Reggie's wife finally decided to speak publicly, not to gain attention, but to express her gratitude and faith. Her words were gentle, yet full of power. "Faith isn't always about being strong in public," she said. "Sometimes it's just waking up each day and choosing to trust God again." Her message touched thousands of hearts. She spoke about how her illness had changed her life, but also deepened her understanding of love and purpose. She described her husband as her constant source of strength, the one who turned pain into music that gave others hope. Her words were not filled with sadness, but with peace and thankfulness. She reminded people that every struggle carries meaning and that even in suffering, God's love never leaves us. After her statement, fans began listening to Reggie's songs with a new sense of emotion. Lyrics that once sounded like ordinary gospel verses now carried deeper significance. People could feel the story behind every note, the tears, the prayers, and the faith that held them together. Her decision to speak out completed the story, transforming mystery into inspiration. When you listen to Reggie Smith's songs today, they feel different. Every word, every melody, now carries the weight of his real-life experiences. His songs about hope, patience, and trust in God are no longer just lessons, they are reflections of his journey with his wife. That's what makes his music so powerful. It's not just entertainment, it's a testimony. Reggie never chased fame. His purpose was always to share hope through music, and knowing his story gives his songs even greater depth. Fans describe his live performances as moments of pure emotion, where every lyric feels alive. Even those who don't follow gospel music find themselves moved by his message. His story reminds everyone that behind every stage, microphone, and smile, there's a human being facing battles just like everyone else. Reggie and his wife's love story isn't one of tragedy, it's one of victory. They showed the world that true love is not about grand gestures or fame, but about standing together when life gets hard. Their quiet faith became louder than any applause. They proved that even in silence, love can speak the loudest. To truly understand Reggie Smith's journey, one must look beyond his voice and see the heart behind his music. His songs come from a place of humility, gratitude, and deep belief in the healing power of faith. Reggie grew up surrounded by gospel choirs, church gatherings, and family prayers. For him, music was never just sound, it was prayer and melody. He once said that every time he sang, he wasn't performing, he was talking to God. That honesty made his music special. Whether he sang in front of 10 people or 10,000, Reggie always gave his full heart. His purpose was never to impress, it was to inspire. Throughout his career, he collaborated with many well-known gospel artists, but fame never changed him. He stayed humble and grateful, always giving credit to God and to the woman who stood beside him. He often told younger singers, "Don't sing for fame, sing from the soul." Those who met him say he's exactly what he seems to be, kind, humble, and full of peace. His music carries the essence of a man who walked through pain and still found a way to praise. Reggie Smith's legacy is not just written in his records or awards, it lives in the life he built with his wife. Together, they created something far greater than fame. Their marriage became a reflection of faith itself, steady, unbreakable, and full of peace even in pain. When Reggie once said, "The greatest song I'll ever sing is the life we've built together," he wasn't reciting lyrics. He was speaking the truth. Their love story continues to inspire countless people, reminding the world that true strength often comes from the quietest moments. While fame fades and spotlights dim, faithful love endures forever. Reggie and his wife's example shows that life's most powerful testimonies aren't always lived on stage. Sometimes they're lived in hospital rooms, whispered in late-night prayers, and carried in the quiet promise of two hearts who never gave up on each other. Their story teaches us that even when words fail, love can still speak, and when it does, it echoes through generations. Today, when people hear Reggie Smith sing, they no longer just hear a voice, they hear a story. A story of faith that refused to break, of love that endured pain, and of hope that kept shining even through the darkest days. The mystery that once surrounded the couple has turned into deep respect and admiration. Their journey reminds us that love doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers softly through tears, through prayer, and through the steady strength of faith. Those whispers, like Reggie's songs, continue to echo in the hearts of everyone who believes in the power of love and music. In a world obsessed with noise, attention, and fame, Reggie and his wife have shown that peace can be the loudest message of all. Their love story is proof that even the quietest acts of faith can leave the most powerful legacy. Behind every great man stands a woman whose strength, love, and faith shape his life in ways the world often never sees. For Reggie Smith, that woman is his wife, Lady Love Smith, a name that shines just as brightly in the world of gospel music. While many fans recognize her for her beautiful harmonies and radiant presence on the Gaither homecoming stage, her journey to that spotlight wasn't always easy. Lady Love's story is one of perseverance, faith, and deep compassion, and it continues to inspire audiences around the world. Lady Love grew up surrounded by music and faith, two elements that would later define her entire life. From a young age, she possessed a natural gift for singing, with a voice that carried both grace and emotion. But more than her talent, it was her deep belief in God and her gentle spirit that drew people toward her. Those who have met her often describe her as kind-hearted, humble, and deeply spiritual, a reflection of someone who truly walks by faith. When she met Reggie Smith, it was as though two musical souls had found their perfect harmony. Their relationship blossomed not just through love, but through shared purpose. Both dedicated their lives to serving God through music, and that connection made their bond even stronger. Whether performing on stage or working behind the scenes, Lady has always been Reggie's biggest supporter. She often speaks about the importance of standing beside her husband in both triumphs and trials, and her unwavering support has been a constant source of strength for him. Together, they've become one of gospel music's most admired couples, respected not only for their talent but also for the authenticity of their faith and marriage. But Lady Love's life has also been touched by deep pain. Before finding joy with Reggie, she faced devastating personal losses that could have easily broken her spirit. One of the most heart-wrenching moments came with the passing of her sister, a loss that left a lasting mark on her heart. Lady has often spoken about how that tragedy tested her faith, leading her through a season of grief and questioning. Yet through prayer, she found healing and a deeper understanding of God's love. Instead of allowing pain to harden her, she used it to grow more compassionate and to comfort others walking through sorrow. Over the years, Lady Love and Reggie have used their platform not only to sing but also to minister to others who are struggling. Their performances often include heartfelt testimonies, reminding audiences that faith doesn't mean a life without pain, it means having hope in the middle of it. Lady's openness about her journey makes her relatable to so many women who admire her strength and honesty. She's shown that even when life brings unexpected trials, you can still find peace and purpose through God's grace. Fans often notice how Reggie lights up when he speaks about his wife. He never hesitates to give her credit for the love and stability that keep their lives grounded. Whether on tour or at home, their relationship reflects mutual respect and genuine admiration. They've built not just a marriage, but a ministry, one centered on faith, music, and love that continues to inspire thousands. Today, Lady Love Smith remains a beloved figure in the gospel community. Alongside Reggie, she continues to perform at Gaither concerts, touching hearts with her soulful voice and heartfelt presence. The two have become living examples of what it means to serve with humility and love. Even after decades in the industry, their marriage still radiates warmth and sincerity, proof that when two people share a calling and a commitment to faith, their bond only grows stronger with time. Through her music, her words, and her life, Lady Love Smith shows that behind every powerful voice of worship stands a heart that has known both pain and healing. Her journey reminds us that faith can turn sorrow into song, and that love, when rooted in God, can overcome anything. Together, Reggie and Lady Love Smith continue to sing not just for applause, but for a higher purpose, to bring hope, peace, and inspiration to all who listen.